Hello, beautiful student. How are you all doing today? It's another beautiful day to be alive. And today we'll start with our computer class. And I especially want to welcome you to today's class. This is my computer book. Now, this is for grade 2. So today we are going to look at Unit 1, Lesson 1. So we'll continue with the lesson. We'll have our page. We're going to work on page 1, page 2, and page 3. But you will concentrate on page 2 and page 3. Okay? So now we move forward to know what the lesson is all about. We'll start out with a topic for discussion today. Now, this is our topic for today. We have health, safety, and ethics. Health, safety, and ethics. These are what we are going to talk about today. What is health doing in computer? What are safety that is doing in computer? And what about ethics? We are going to discuss all of these things now. So while we move into the class proper, I want you to pay attention, okay? Concentrate, because I will be asking you a question from what we are going to be learning this morning. Now, this is our lesson objectives. Now we begin with this. We'll say, let me break it down for you. Lesson objectives means what you should know at the end of this lesson. So at the end of this lesson, if I ask you a question and you're not able to answer it means you are going to retake the lesson again. So please pay attention so you understand everything we're going to say today. This is to recognize you are to recognize the health risk existing in a computer laboratory. Now, the two, show understanding of the proper way to sit in front of a computer. We're going to talk about this. You are going to recognize the health, the risk, and the risk in using computer when working in a computer laboratory. Okay? So please pay attention to this while the lesson begins. I will kick off with our lesson proper now. Now, this is the keywords. This keywords means the vocabularies, the words I want you to learn in the course of this our lesson today. So you are going to learn this one. That is health, safety, ethics, laboratory, proper, switch. All these words are in our study today. In your notebook, in your textbook, you will come across all these words. So I don't want these words not to be familiar with you. So you have to learn these words because you will come across it while we're studying today. Now, lesson begins. Proper. You need to pay attention now so you understand all we'll have to say here. Health. If you remember, the vocabulary words you watched or the keywords you saw before now were talked about health. That was the first one that dropped down. Now, what about health? What has it got to do with us when we learn computer? Now, take a listen. Health is very important, and we all need to take care of our health. How do we take care of our health while working in the computer? Just follow me along, you will understand it very well. Now listen to this. Prolonged use of computer, what might happen? That is what we talk about health. When you overuse computer, when you sit too much in the computer or while working on the computer, what do you think that will happen? Follow me so we see what will happen if we use this word prolong means too much. Using this computer for a long time. That's that's what we mean by prolong. So don't be confused with the word prolong, okay? So follow me, patience, so you understand. Pay attention, okay? Now look at this. Back pain. When you use computer for a long time, prolonged use of computer for a long time will give you back pain. That is the back pain we are talking about, and this is not good. Health is very important. Having back pain is not that good. So you need to be careful not to use computer for a long time. We move to the next slide, which says headache. When you've kept your gaze on something, you've always focused on something, it could bring headache. It could cause headache. You begin to feel hot in your head. So that is not good. This is all about health. That's why I said, what is health doing in our computer lesson? Now you see the reasons. All these are the things that happen in our lives if we don't take care of our health. We move to the next one. This is shoulder pain. Let me see your shoulder. Make your shoulder like this. Do you feel pain most times? Maybe when you sleep wrongly, at times you may get a neck pain or shoulder pain. That equally happens when you prolongly use computer. Now this is the picture here for you. You see the shoulder? It pains. And then you tell Mama, Baba, there's pain on my shoulder. There's pain. That is, probably you've been too glued to your gadgets and you're busy using your computer or your phone. Whatsoever that will make you put your shoulder like this will affect you and it can cause you pain. So you see, we care about your health. That is why we brought it into your computer learning. Okay? So please, take good care of your health so you don't have back pain, you won't have headache, and shoulder pain will not be there. So follow me, let's continue with our lesson. And I hope you're paying attention because I'm coming with my answer, my questions. Now, what is this? Read along with me, patience. Safety while working in the computer lab. Safety while working in the computer lab. Now we've talked about health. And if we don't take care of ourselves while working on the computer, we could have some kind of pain. Now we're going to talk about the safety measures we should think or we should follow while we work in the computer lab. So let's move ahead. Imagine this is computer lab and you are working in the computer lab. What are the safety measures you are going to take? Read along with Miss Patience. It says, safety. What should and should not be done? What should and should not be done? While you are working here, you see somebody working on the computer, what should you do and what shouldn't you do? Let's see what we are going to do. This is ensure that the computer cables are properly fixed. If this is not properly fixed, it could cause damage to the computer or equally cause damage to you if it explodes. So this is what we should do. We should ensure that the computer cables are properly fixed. We'll move down to the next one, so let's see what we have. Do not pour water on your computer. Do you take water to your class and when you are working on your computer, in the computer lab, you bring water, you pour on your computer? It's not nice. If you do that, what will happen to the computer? Yes, answer me. If you pour water on your computer, what will happen? It will spoil, right? It will stop working, right? Do you want your computer to stop working? No. Do you want the computer in our computer lab to stop working? No. So be a good student, okay? We'll go to the next one. Read along with Miss Patience. Do not eat or drink in the computer lab. And I said, Mommy, Miss Patience, I'm so hungry. I want to eat. I want to drink water. When you are in the lab, that is why I say take note of this lab. When you are in this place, there is nothing like eating. There is nothing like drinking. Okay? These are all for our safety. Okay? So now, I have to erase this so we can go to the next slide and see what we have there. Now, we are going to talk about ethics. I told you to pay attention because I'll be coming with questions. Now, before this ethics, what are the things we already discussed? You remember? We discussed about safety, we discussed about health, we talked about the key words. I hope you are following us. I am coming with another question, okay? So pay attention when we talk about ethics. Before we talk about this, before I bring up any other slide for you, what do you think this ethics is? This ethics. Ethics could be called rules. There are principles. There are ethics of everything. While we work as a student, while we work as a teacher, as a parent, we all have ethics to follow. Even at home, we have ethics we follow at home. So please, let's continue with this so you understand ethics properly well. Now, as you were staying in the computer lab, what are the ethics we are going to follow? A computer lab is a valuable tool for learning. You learn a whole lot in the computer lab. So there are ethics that guides us. There are rules that guides us. Remember I said ethics can stand for rules. So don't forget. Now look at the second one. We said while in the lab, students will follow appropriate code of conduct. What is the code of conduct? If the code of your classroom, like the rules, means walk into the laboratory room silently, you should follow that rules. If teacher says, come in, sit down, your hands on yourself, your legs to yourself, and just give me your ears. That is teacher's ethics. You should follow the rules. I hope you're following. We move to the next one. This is practice safe internet use. Practice safe internet use. You know why? Because our school is all wired. We all have internet in our lab. That doesn't mean when you go into our labs, you begin to go into other sites that are not permitted. You should stick to the rules, the ethics of the class, the ethics of the school. If they said, go to the site of ABC, don't go to 1, 2, 3. Just go to that site and don't use it for your own personal use. This is now for our school. Make sure you follow our school ethics while working on our computer lab. Understood? I hope you are understanding the lesson. Or is it too dull for you? Don't worry, when the questions start coming in, then you will be lively. So okay, let's continue with the next slide to know what we are going to do. This is our activity time. This activity, you will get it on page 2 and page 3. Page 1, I think page 1 is all for me, but you need to read it so you understand, you have a little idea of what we are talking about. So you will concentrate on page 2 and page 3. Now, this is rules and regulations of the computer laboratory, okay? Here, you can see a student washing her hands. It says, I make sure that my hands are clean before using the computer. I do not eat or drink in the computer lab. I keep the computer lab clean. I use the bin. You don't just trash everything on the floor. When you finish whatever you are doing, if you want to sharpen your pencil, you go to the bin and trash. If you want to, anything you do and you feel like you want to trash it, do it in the bin. Don't litter the lab. Don't litter everywhere. Make sure you keep the lab the way you met it. So I think that is all for now. Okay, I keep it. Yeah, we've taken this. I wait for my teacher's permission before using my computer. Aha! So many of you, once you walk into the computer, you open the computer and you start using it. It's not allowed. Remember to follow our ethics. When you move into the computer room, you hold on. Remember I told you, your two hands to yourself, your legs to yourself, and you wait for your teacher. Wait for your teacher's instruction. Once your teacher says go, then you can now start operating on the computer. Now, we've gradually come to the end of the lesson, but before we leave, we will have to take a recap. That is our conclusion to see what the lesson is all about. And this is our homework first before our conclusion. Sorry about that. Now, I told you there are going to be questions. These questions, you are going to answer them as your homework. Here, we have computer notebook. All you are going to do in my computer book is to read up, learn and understand the lesson very well, comprehend the lesson very well. Then you take your notebook, your exercise book, and do the computer notebook writing. Now, what are you going to do on your notebook? This is it. From page 2 and page 3 of my computer book, which is this textbook, write in your notebooks 10 rules and regulations to follow in the computer lab. Okay? This will help me know those that have already read this. And don't do copy and paste. Try to read and understand it for yourself, okay? Because when you come to class, I will ask you questions about it. Okay, this is our conclusion. And before we conclude, I want to make a quick recap of what we have learned today. We'll say, remember all we learned in today's class. Remember all we learned in today's class. What did we do today? What did we talk about? We talked about health, safety, and ethics. Try to observe all this whenever you go to the computer lab. Try to observe health, try to observe safety and the laboratory rules while you work on your computer. Okay? This is where we'll be hanging it on our today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you understood what we talked about. If you have any question, please don't forget to drop the question on our class dojo or come to school, then we will attend to your questions. Thank you for being a wonderful student. See you in our next class. Bye.